Hello, I'm Cheryl Meyer, and I'm otherwise known as Cheryl M. Health Muse. And what my goal is to inspire you to lead a healthier life. So when I proposed my podcast, I proposed that we present it in two different segments. The first one is It Feels Good to Feel Good, Future-Proof Your Health, where I get to share everything I have learned to return my health back to relative wellness and to live a pain-free life in spite of the fact that I have autoimmune disease. But the second part of my podcast is this episode, and that's Tell Me Your Story, the Health Muse is in. My concept with this is it's all fine and well that you hear me tell my story, but I get a lot of, it's all fine and well that it worked for you, but it's not going to work for me. And I wanted you to hear that there are lots of people out there that have made changes in their lifestyle that have supported their health and brought them back to relative wellness. We all have a couple things in common. We all owned our own health. Whatever the doctor was suggesting we did was going on a parallel path to us making these lifestyle changes where we did things that cleaned up our toxic load. We all pay attention to our body. You'll hear jazz in the background because I want you to listen to the rhythm of your health, and I want you to pay attention to what your body is telling you. My body had been trying to tell me that I was going to topple over into toxic load for some time. I just wasn't listening. So if you clean up your lifestyle and if you listen to your body, you have a very good chance not of being deprived in any way, but returning to feeling darn good. And that's what these podcasts are really all about. So thank you for joining me. This is going to be a Tell Me Your Story, the Health Muse is in episode, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that we all inspire you to lead a healthier, happier life. Thank you. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me in another episode of Tell Me Your Story, the Health Muse is in. We have a wonderful guest today. She's somebody I actually met a couple of years ago, and I went on her speaker circuit, and I discovered that Suzanne Thibault, which I think I just mispronounced, but our pet psychic, actually interviewed Rhonda's pet for her book, and so we reconnected. I didn't know that she'd had a severe thyroid problem at one point in her life, and so I invited her to come be on the show. She's a resiliency coach, so you're going to learn a whole lot from Rhonda today, both in terms of her health journey and then in terms of how she's out and about and helping people today. And I thought the most fascinating thing that I just discovered about her was she's a CPA. Who'd have thunk? Because she's doing a whole lot of work on working with people to bring out their resiliency and their zest for life. So I'm going to let Rhonda tell you all about her past bio, and then we'll get into how she knew she had thyroid disease and what she did about it. So let me welcome Rhonda, I'm going to mispronounce your name too, Liebig?
Oh, Cheryl, that was so good.
Oh,
thank you. It's a German last name, but you know, it does look like Liebig.
Well, I'm German, so thank God I got it right.
That's why it came out so nicely. Well, you know, that's good talking about my last name because Liebig is what it looks like. And being a CPA, I still keep up my CPA license even after 12 years of not practicing, because boy, did it take a while to pass that exam. So I started in this business industry, being an entrepreneur 12 years ago. But if we back into how I got here, it was that I was spinning and I couldn't get myself out of it. And I couldn't get my feet on the ground and really ground myself. I couldn't look up to the sky, literally. I was afraid that I literally was going to fly away. My brain couldn't grasp the stress that I was carrying. And what happened was I was growing and growing more as a CPA. And I originally really loved it. I love numbers. I love helping people. And when I was studying for the CPA exam, I thought it was going to connect me deeper with what I was doing. As a CPA, I was able to make decisions and it made me feel really good. But my issue was that I really didn't enjoy the industry overall. And I love helping people. I love working in Excel, which is so, anybody that loves working in Excel, they're going to be like, yes. The issue was that I didn't feel like I fit in. And there was something about me, I kept telling myself that I wasn't smart. And so a lot of these things that we're going to talk about today I was carrying them like heavy inside me, thinking that I was ugly, I was dumb, I was not worthy of stuff. And I definitely want to wash that because it's not very healthy to hear that stuff, but I was feeling it. And so that spinning really evolved me out of being this CPA and in the CPA world where I truly just felt like I never fit anyway, and bringing me into this new journey. And what's really good about actually going through that is that I think there's all purpose in everything we do. And that is what has elevated me into being an entrepreneur that really cares, wanting to lock arms with people. And it taught me so much about running a business. So I
Which
can do that.
most coaches do not have the background of.
Mm.
Yeah, I was lucky that I had my jewelry business for 20 years before I got sick and then went through this whole metamorphosis to become somebody totally different. But I'm always amazed because somehow girls, women, grow up never feeling they're enough. And it's kind of universal. I had my own feelings of not being enough, even though I was always kind of out there. It was always inside of me, and fear was my nemesis until my early 50s. And then suddenly it hit me. The only person who was keeping me from doing what I wanted to do was me. And so it wasn't that I wasn't out there in business and running things for business, but suddenly I ditched the fear and went out and started doing the things that I wanted to do. If I could get my finger on how it is that that happens with girls and then women, it would be tremendous because it doesn't matter who I talk to. We all seem to have that until
Yeah,
we can come out the other end of it. And
yeah.
you were a CPA, so you joined a predominantly male industry, which probably also kept you somewhat isolated and continued those feelings.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, bringing it back to, and I guess we're going right into the health journey here too, because we definitely are talking about emotions and feeling stifled. So I was in an industry where there were a lot of men holding like the CEO, like the high positions. And as women got higher and higher in position, being strong and there was always labels put on women.
oh
So
yeah, and
that
there still are somewhat. We've come a long way, but we're not through that yet.
they still are. And so I was around a lot of women. And us women were not very nurturing to each other. And there was something about it that, and corporate life is where I ended up before I left, was just the competition of trying to get to where you wanted to get to. Because I know that's why I didn't enjoy corporate, is that I felt like I was moving too slow. I love moving forward fast. I love that space. But the feeling that you're not worthy enough, there's a lot of magazines saying physically how we're supposed to be, that we're supposed to be silent. And it doesn't mean that our atmosphere is always that way, but there's a lot of stuff that we need to change around in society. And I love having these conversations. And this is where it goes into understanding how I could get off of medicine for thyroid. So should we go in there, Cheryl?
Yeah, let's talk about first, how did you know you had a thyroid issue?
Oh, it was Cheryl. It was very interesting. I did a Facebook Live this morning on it, and I call it like your vitality rhythm. When I started in after I graduated from college, I went into the accounting field, and my vitality rhythm went way down. I was not feeling like I fit in, not very healthy, happy, and also that um, there was something about it that I didn't feel like I was in the right place. So my vitality rhythm kept going down and down. And as I started studying for the exam, it went down even further because I wasn't believing in myself. And so my overall body and the way the flow in my body was happening, it was slowing down. I like emotionally was not believing in myself. So it got so bad that if I sat down and I was not talking, I'd fall asleep. And I didn't
Wow.
even know I was going to fall asleep. It was so scary because I could be in a big, big meeting and all of a sudden, clunk, I was asleep. And I didn't understand that. And so I got diagnosed with a thyroid issue. But now I understand, being in the health industry now for 20 years in total, that my vitality rhythm was down. My whole body was slowing down because systemically I didn't believe in myself. So emotionally, my organs were just slowly going lower and lower in
And
vibration.
certainly the
I was
imbalance in
stuck.
hormones was feeding that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a wicked circle that the hormones were causing issues, your emotions were causing issues, and they were both causing each other to collide
Oh my gosh, Cheryl,
and
yes,
create
because
havoc.
okay, so I know that, yeah, because in your book you talk about the hormones. For me, because I studied a lot about how our organs work, and I use food as medicine, and you know, I think about like the liver, my liver, like everything that speaks to every part of your body, like that second brain, it was like overloaded. I couldn't keep up with anything. So my like literally I felt like I was not being a good mom. And maybe I was, but I don't think I was really fully there at that time. I felt like I was not being a very good wife because I always thought that I was supposed to be doing stuff perfect. Whatever my brain
Oh
thought was
yeah.
perfect. And all of a sudden, everything I was doing the way that doing in the wrong way and not the exact perfect way that I wanted it. So I had to learn how to release the pressure of that you have to do it this way, that this is the way you're supposed to do it. Those are the things I realized why I got on medicine. So I was on medicine for 19 years, almost 20 years. So my whole body is taking this pill, and the pill is saying, oh, thyroid, don't work. Oh, thyroid, don't work. Let me take care of it. And the medicine for 20 years was talking to my thyroid that way. So it took a while to get off of medicine, but what I started looking at was I knew how to do the food thing. And being a mindset coach, I call myself an energy revitalizer and mindset freedom coach to vitality. And now I can really stand in that. I decided to get off of medicine. I knew that I was not stepping in and using my vocals fully. That if I was upset, I would shut myself down and I'd get like angry inside. So my thyroid was getting vibrated on and I was not speaking. So I was stuck there. Energy was stuck. And we were talking about hormones, Cheryl. So my hormones, my endocrine system, my chakra system,
Right.
however we want to
Was
speak to this.
blocked.
Yeah, it was totally blocked. So I knew I had to work on that. I also realized that I was not fully in with my foods. Like sometimes I'd have pizza here and there. I think we like to have pizza like once a week. And I don't mean to talk bad about pizza because I don't think there's good food, bad food. I think there's the whole receiving part in what we're doing and knowing what's good for your body. So I wasn't doing stuff that was fully fueling my body. I was trying to get away with it. So I learned how to infectiously love my food, how to be my best VIP client. Because at that time, I kind of had some good clients that were really into it. my other clients that weren't so good, they were playing my game too. They're like, oh, do I have to come to the coaching session or can I be half in? Do I really have to do everything Rhonda's saying or can I be half in? So I, stepping into being my best VIP client, I'm off medicine. We can talk more about that, but I'm
Did you
also
do
like,
that with your doctor or did you just, no?
no, I know, Cheryl, this is interesting. And I did it in a way that was like, I'm cleaning my hands and they're up. I'm like, oh, no more medicine. And your liver will carry the medicines. It takes a while for your liver to cleanse it out. So for the first few months, I had some little things happening and it was like, okay, Rhonda, get in check. Your feet are swelling. What do you need to do? Okay, now you're scared. Okay, now what do you need to do? How can you get yourself elevated? Oh, morning routine. Okay, so I started these things. Okay, so now my feet weren't swelling, started going on my journey more. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden gaining weight because the thyroid takes care of your metabolism, takes care of every cell in your body. So now I'm like an eighth into my journey because I wasn't fully stepping into it. So I got another talking to with myself. And I said, okay, so how much time do I need to really take care of myself? And this actually goes for everybody. I feel like I'm not just talking to me getting off of medicine. I acknowledge now that I need time for myself in the morning before anybody else demands anything. And I have kids. So 4:30 in the morning for me is, you get up, you're going to love it, but at first you may not. And sometimes it may be dark and you don't really want to get up, but I do it. And I spend at least 1 hour in meditation, going out for gratitude walk. I can go all the way to 3 hours, depending on my schedule. And right now, since it's summertime, I'll go into the gym after I do my gratitude walk. I'll lift weights and then I'll go into my pool. And it's almost like a Pilates. It really opens up my body. So what I get to do is I get to not tire it out because I'm not doing things extreme, but I'm letting my brain get elevated. So then I'm not stopping my throat. Now I have the stress out of my body. And now my whole flow is going. And then now I get to go and take care of my clients. Now I get to run business. And now I'm amplified that everything that ever stopped me in the past, I get to hear it and start working through it even more and more. And I also always have a coach, at least one, to keep me
One
going.
of the things that I love that you just said, which is one of the things that I encourage everyone to do, you listen to your body. Your body tells you when what you're doing is right and what you're doing is wrong. When I get up in the morning, the first thing I do when I look in the mirror is I have a conversation. How are you feeling today? And if I'm not feeling so hot, and there are mornings when I'm not, then I know I need to adjust almost immediately. I need to eat more vegetables. I need to make sure that I'm getting better sleep. I know that I need to do my breathing exercises to release my stress, but I listen to my body. For however many 63 years, I didn't listen to my body at all. And when it was hitting me over the head with the 2x4, it went by my brain so fast I didn't even stop to register. And so we really have so much power over our body if we will just listen to it. And it wants to heal, it wants to make us healthy, and it tells us that. And so that's what you were doing, and then you paid attention to it and you changed your whole routine around it, which I congratulate you for. That's fantastic.
Mm. It's and so you and I, we live in this world. So
Right.
whatever I did is what I'm expecting somebody else to do when they come into this sphere of, Rhonda Liebig health coach. Like they're saying, like, so the discussions now are like deeper before I'll even say yes to a new client coming in. Or even if I'm doing Facebook Live, I'm out there consistently. Energetically, I can because I feel in alignment. There is no embarrassment. I think today, my Facebook Live, I had 10 things that I thought I did wrong in life. And I said, your mess, if you think of it a mess, is really your foundation. And it's the understanding that everything has truth and movement forward for us. And I keep that in my mind, and I think it's the only way to live, so we can open up our heart, be our kid again with all the years experience that we have.
And our past is important. Looking back, it makes so much sense. So there's not any regrets. It's the progression to who we are today. And without the past, we wouldn't have that foundation to be who we are today. So it's important to appreciate all of that came before us.
Yeah. Well, in appreciation.
Right.
If we can find appreciation, and that's what builds our relationships. And the first one, of course, is within ourselves, but it brings in, like, we almost like close off that vein that brings in people that are the naysayers, people that, they're going through their struggle. So they're going to be our naysayers because they're struggling and they haven't made that choice yet. So that vessel gets turned off. And then when you really start doing this journey, the other part opens up and your heart stays open consistently. Like, I don't know how to close it off. I had to think about that before I said it, because I like to be in truth. If I find myself in my old ways of slowly turning it off as I make a quirky face, like, I catch that and I go, here, wait, the safest place is really, really being open, because that's when you can look around and your heart and your body automatically go there. And now, since we are in the coronavirus right now time, depending on when you're listening to this, that's how you find people virtually, because you get even more spiritual when you start thinking about that. I'm not looking at a camera. I can see you. Like, that is important. We still need to translate these live things that we've been able to go out and do, and do book signings and go out and speak and hug each other. I find the only way that I can understand that we're going to survive is utilize the technology we have, and don't talk to your camera when you're out there doing your thing. Love on it. So with your health journey, I think about, if you see family, man, hold yourself and say, oh, I love you. Put your hand over your heart. We need to heal, because we're in a whole new layer, that there can be another type of chronic disease that can come out of this. And it's the human touch and the hugs and putting heart to heart.
Yeah, I keep
That's
hoping
what I'm
when we
finding
come out the other end of coronavirus, we come out into a kinder, gentler, more loving, more giving world. I hope. That's part. I do a prayer group every Wednesday for any denomination. I don't care who you pray to, but we have a long list that we, as a group, we pray to every Wednesday, and it's an amazing experience to do it all together, because we're actually getting all kinds of great results. And every Tuesday, people can add to the list or take away from the list. But every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, we create a thought form of love to everybody on the list. And it's my favorite thing about my private group. What a wonderful group of people that I have. And together we have really made a difference in a lot of people's lives.
I so believe it.
Yeah. So do I. And I'm hoping when we come out of coronavirus and we're not so isolated anymore, that we can continue that and expand it and make the light bigger.
Yeah, that's my faith too. I feel that when I get in conversation with people about everything that's out there, just anything like politics, which is very sensitive to the coronavirus and this and that, I always like to elevate that conversation. It's like, I said, yeah, there's people that are fighting and that are looking for truth, and we are all doing that. But what's coming out of it is we're learning more about, how to handle certain things. How do we feel about certain things? Let's get out there loud and proud. Let's, connect arm to arm so that we can make, Cheryl, we can make this thing that we're doing powerful, like with your community, the way that you have the praying and being together, and doesn't matter what denomination you are. It's like it doesn't matter, because you're all in that space of loving and elevating. And I started this yoga class in March when all the coronavirus stuff shut down. I go, okay, how can I get back to my community? Okay, I want to do this for free too. And so I started just bringing people in, and it was Monday through Friday. And I thought, well, I'll do it for the first month, because I was only doing yoga on Friday. And what I found is that I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
it's like 6 months down the line, and it's like, because you can feel like your body releasing more and more stress every day. It gives community tools for people to really connect with and know. They're reminded, now it's top of mind. Now it's becoming part of their journey. So it's, like what we're doing out there, I think it is. We're helping things change.
We are. And it comes from heart energy. It has to come from heart energy. I talk about food, which is a big thing. And that is super important. But community is number one on everybody's list for health. And speaking from the heart and using our heart energy is the most critical component to connect us to other people. So, absolutely. So, you are a resiliency coach. I want you to explain to everyone what you do when you have a new client to make them more resilient.
Yeah, thank you. Energy revitalizer. What does that mean? So in resilience, that means like anything coming at you, how are you going to be able to handle that? So I'm always in the vitality, the energy. When somebody comes in, I like to listen to their vocals. I like to listen to how their organs are working. So their emotions, what's coming through, where do they feel stuck? That's going to tell me what organ or organs they're stuck in, because each organ comes up with certain emotions. And then I like to ask questions that help me understand what their aches and pains are. And then we go in, we find something that they get really connected with. And so I don't like to do just regular goals. So I never really call them goals, but I can hear when they get excited about something. So then I can start talking about food, because food is real sensitive. We have some stories around food, but I could start using food as medicine. So the next step is, okay, I can hear that your vocals are doing this, and I don't always tell them this, but I can feel that your emotions, I want to feed some energy into your brain. And so I start going in there and I make a list of foods for them. And I just see, like, is there something in there that they really don't like? Because I want their palate to get excited. So I want to meet up with them wherever they're at. And that is going to be better than what they were doing before. So I don't like perfection. I like, let's go out and play. I'm a dancer. Let's go out and dance and party it up and live like, so it's not like, oh, this is good, that's bad, but let's figure out how to crowd things out and have fun so we can have the relationship with food. I want freedom in your body, freedom with food. So every time you eat, you're not afraid of an ache or pain that's going to come, or that you might gain weight if it's just that, because sometimes that's all we're worried about. Like that might be the beginning step of stepping into this. So that's what it's like. It's just this journey. And so that might be like actually the first coaching session. So there's a lot going on, but the person doesn't feel it because I'm not telling them all that. I'll give them little tidbits so that they get connected and they go, oh my gosh, my lower back is fatigued. Okay, take this medicine, which is scrumptious, luscious energy food, which has, water in there like cucumber, bell pepper. And I just start building this white plate for them. And I go, you like that stuff? It's decently good. Yeah, I would love that. That will take care of your lower back. Okay, there you go. So they're connected. I don't like to do a food plan and just say ready, set, go, and then exterior. I like to think of the spirit, where they at, and also how can I get them really wanting to do it? And so the money part to me, when we're talking, exchanging that, I think it's energy. And I think of everything as water. So energy and water, it's easy to grow the business then too, because I know that people are coming in, they're asking. And I don't want to be there, you got to do this and pointing the finger. We have enough of that. I want them to be friends because we're on the same journey. I don't want to talk down to anybody. I want to nurture them so I can see what makes them happy. I want them to be saying yes to themselves and feeling freedom in life.
Yeah, and it's funny how many things in food take away our freedom. One of the things that I'm amazed at is addictions like sugar that take away your freedom because they turn off your hormones that regulate your appetite, or the toxins in the synthetic ingredients in processed food that hook them in to eat more of that stuff and take away their freedom. So once they get free of all of that stuff, it's a whole new world, and there's a lot of yummy things left to eat. So it's working them through that process. But wow, are we a society of convenience? It's getting them to come out the other end of that process first.
I know, Cheryl. I'm like, party time.
Yeah.
You'll know that about me. I loved going to San Francisco when I was younger. I didn't go out and drink when I was, 16, 17. I didn't have a lot of parental guidance. I could have done all these things, but I knew San Francisco was where the energy was and where I was going to go out dancing. And so I'm a partying fool. Food is my party. It's not that you're disgruntled and pushed down and sad because you have to change. It's like, no, let's party it up. That's what I'm about.
And good for, and I love to talk about when you eat all the colors of the rainbow and all the colors are in your body, then they have a little party in your body and your body is happy and it will tell you that.
Exactly.
So we're going to party on all levels. Yeah. So fantastic. Now you have a couple of books. So I want you to talk about your books and where everybody would find them and what they'll learn from them.
Yeah. So right now, the biggest one that's really happening out there, did become #1 best-selling author. Right now, you probably can't even find it very easily. There's so many new books coming out. It's called 14 Days to a Flat Belly. The flat belly to me is a beautiful, nurturing, basic vegetable program. And it uses my 3 energy revitalized pillars: food, gentle movement on the body so you can reset the hormones, and then also your workout, your food, and your mindset. So every day you have gratitude. It's like a basic program. And I love having that out there, but it took me a couple of years to release it because the title made me really scared. How can you do 14 days with a flat belly? But the thing is that the belly is when your hormones are off, when you're under high stress. So the magazines don't tell me what a flat belly is. I know that when my clothes start loosening, if I didn't put a mirror in front of me, I would feel like my belly's flat, and it just gets healthier and healthier. So it's a health coaching approach with a nice zing title. The other book is The FITT Solution, 4 Steps to a Sexy, Successful, Authentic You. FITT is with the double T, so the FITT Solution. And it uses a 4-step process in every chapter, and it's around, again, the 3 energy revitalized pillars, helping you move, eat food, and then also mindset. The focus, integrate, transform, and thrive is FITT. And it helps you connect with your goal. I believe you need to make sure you understand what you want to focus on, because somebody may have a goal and you go, well, that sounds good if they're getting results. So the focus is really important. The integrate is that when you're excited in the evening, you better wake up the next day and be so excited the next day. So how can we fit it in your calendar? Making sure that it fits in what you can do right now. So that's the integrate part. Transform is just enjoying the goods, celebrating even the little components, because those little components truly make massive movement, will change your life for the rest of your time here, learning that and thrive, that you get to energetically feel the changes in your body, in your mind, in your movement, and the freedom. So that's what that book is about, is the FITT Solution. And those are the two books that are out there, and I love it.
I'm convinced that most of us don't even know that we don't feel good.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
one
yeah.
of the reasons that I really encourage everyone to start listening. You have to get quiet and listen to your body. But I love your program because not only are you encouraging everyone to listen to their body, but then you give them the steps of what to do about it. If we would all start listening to our body, we would be a much healthier nation, because we're not.
Yeah.
Um,
Cheryl, and this is interesting. I find, and tell me what you think about this too, it is kind of scary going in the body if you haven't worked on some mindset stuff. I think the mindset thing, it's like just getting comfortable with some things that you may be harsh on yourself about, or maybe you have some background of, abuse or something that doesn't feel good. That once you start understanding that, and go get somebody that you can partner with to start releasing that stuff, so that you can get in the body and start healing. And so, and the way that I approach it is, I think mindset is the first, and the toxin part is awesome because you can go around on the exterior at least and start, looking at your home, and like we were talking about our animals and all that. And then you can start and sit and be quiet. And that can be the beginning. And that's when you get to break it down deeper and deeper.
well, and the mind has to be healthy and the body has to be healthy. We have to work on both sides. So
Yeah.
when you start going inside, don't be afraid of what you're finding when you go into your head, because by identifying what's going on in your head, it's the only way you're going to get in there, and you're going to fix it, and you're going to brighten it up, and you're going to change it around. And you're a big believer in gratitude, as am I. I write down 5 things I'm grateful for from the day before every morning when I get up. That's the first thing I do. Why do I do that? Because that sets my mindset in a positive place for me then to go do my day. No more all of this negative crud. If there are negative thoughts that come in, I replace them with gratitude, because I am an extraordinarily lucky person, and I remind myself of that every day. And so that's the first place to start with mindset. And I know you believe in that as well, but you got to also believe in yourself, and we got to get rid of that imposter syndrome and that I'm not good enough and all that stuff that scares us to death to not move forward and do the things that we're capable of and that we want to accomplish. So it starts with mindset, but then we got to go down into the body and say, hey, what's going on in the rest of the body? Hello.
Yeah, I so believe that. The imposter syndrome is a lot to do with, we tell people sometimes to fake it till they make it. Those things. I think that's all old school. I think I love what you're saying. Like, go in there and you're going to start hearing things, and it feels uncomfortable. That uneasiness, it does help you feeling that, because you want to feel that every day. Because if you feel that every day, then you get comfortable with it, and then and then like what we talked about, like the freedom, like you feel uneasy because you're like, wow, I'm on new ground, and I like that everyday feeling. And then I start feeling the freedom, and I think those really balance each other so that I can do what I know is my passion.
But if you're afraid to feel it, then you can't work your way to the other side of it. And you can't be grateful that you were here and now you're here, and whoa, let's celebrate where we've come. So it's all connected. Yeah. And it's the beginning of really all success. You have to be able to work through what's in your head, and you have to feed it nutrients, because that will help you get rid of some of the negativity that's going on in your brain. You don't even realize how what you're eating is impacting what's going on in your brain. So it all interconnects.
Yeah. Now that's why I brought up the 3 energy revitalized pillars. I just don't see how we can just go out there and work out and we think that's good. I ended up on medicine, and I was working out, and exterior wise, my body looked good because I started working out when I was 14. We need the food because, we need to build the serotonin and like exactly what you said, feeding the brain, feeding the organs, clean the body. And I think that we have to partner with food. We have to understand what food is going to do for us and understand what type of movement that we want. So we're not hurting ourselves and replacing our knees and our elbows and our shoulders. And the mind helps us start really loving on ourselves. That's why I brought that up. It's really hard to do just one. We need to bring it all together, align it.
And if you're not feeling good about yourself, you might even want to make a list of what is it that you're not liking about yourself, and then turn that into what you're grateful about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to start crowding out all of those negative thoughts with all the positive thoughts, because they're there. You can turn those negatives into positive, and then you can work to make them the reality that will make you confident with who you are.
Yeah.
But you have to feel them first, or you don't even know that they're in there. And the brain sort of likes where it's been. It doesn't want to
Yeah.
change. So it will get in there and it will sabotage you because it's real comfortable in whatever it's been thinking about. And don't let it be comfortable. Shake it up. Nothing's going to happen to you if you shake that up and you start to change to a more positive you.
Yeah. So believe that. Yeah, I think, and so what we've talked about this whole time, that's how I got off of medicine. That's really how I got off of medicine. And it's deep, and we talk so light about it, but the journey is intense and loving and wonderful. That's what life is too. We talked a lot about there's stressors out there in the world, and we do want to be in reality with what's going on. We don't have to get in all the details, but we want to be in truth with what we feel in our body also. So I just don't know how else to live. And so I don't know how else to live life, or have, the all in with my relationships, or all in with, running this business. I think it all is partnership, all goes in alignment. And that's what I strive for every day. And it's great being a human and really being realistic that it's not all perfect. But when we find ourselves out of alignment, instead of beating us down or being embarrassed that we showed up a certain way, go, like curious, oh, that's how you showed up. All right, well, I got to change that.
Right.
These things what makes it fun.
Right. And I see a lot of coaches talk about the fact that they're not perfect. So how could they coach someone? I don't think anybody's looking for somebody who's perfect, because
I
if you're
hope not.
perfect, then you can't relate to whatever it is your client's needs are. So get rid of that. We're not perfect, and that's perfectly okay, but we're all on a journey. And as a coach, hopefully we can help someone along in their journey with some place that we've already been and we have resolved for ourselves. It doesn't mean we're not still growing ourselves. We're constantly growing, and perfection does not exist.
We do, because we do research. Our clients teach us a lot. We're in silence a lot when our clients are working through their stuff, so we can hear and be able to guide them. We become better guides. If you have somebody that keeps telling you what to do instead of lifting you, that can be something where it could be a little disempowering. So you want to find somebody that helps you believe in you, so you can have somebody bring the tools in, which is your coach, so that you can find the power in you, because we're all authentically unique. We all have a passion, and if you haven't found yours yet, this is a great beginning to be able to change your world forever.
Right.
And that's what I'm all in with, that one.
And if you don't buy into it, nobody's going to help you change. It has to come from inside of you. You have to own it. If you don't own it, you're not going to change. Somebody else cannot own it for you. Although there's people who would like you to own it for them, nobody can own it for you. It only becomes sustainable if you own it yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's where the mindset area comes in, huh? Because we're not raised to know or understand this stuff. I have a 14 and 16-year-old, and I feel like I'm a better parent. If I'd have stayed in corporate, I would have been more exterior and fighting the corporate ladder and, just probably loving on it because that's where my brain would be. But I'm happy I get to raise these kids
And you
and
have beautiful
not
kids.
put my finger like you have to do it this way. It's like I need to be so that they can be and they can make choices and they can feel leveled up even at 14 and 16. I want to hear them just like I hear my clients. You think about it, to heal, we do kind of have to go into, some things that affected us when we were kids so we can hear, like what you're saying, Cheryl, like hear what's in your brain. A lot of that is systemic from childhood. So I want to be my best child, my playful, fun child that just thought everything was just great, and being able to also again love on what's happening here and now and how to keep surviving in this interesting and very challenging time. And Cheryl, I so appreciate you inviting me in. I really do care about your journey. I remember when we were doing a book signing and just talking to you and your husband and your relationship, the way that you show up and how much you care about things. I'm all in with people that that are trying to figure this out. I think we're all friends when we start down this journey. They're
Yeah, no, and I'm
wonderful. So
always
thank you.
thrilled to meet other people on a parallel path because there's room for all of us, and the more of us that are on these parallel paths, the bigger our impact is with everybody else. So, no, it's fantastic. Now, you're doing virtual um, speaker events now. So I want you to talk a little bit about that so that everybody knows what they can expect, and then I want you to talk about how everybody can find you at these things.
All right. The freshinspirationshow.com or freshinspirationshow.com. If you missed it'll get you to the same place. You'll see that we have some great speakers that are around this year, and we're always looking for some new superstars out there that want to star in a show where they get to really, and not in the ego sense of star in the show, like that you get to bring all your gifts. And so we've been doing an all-day show once a month, virtual. We're building the community. The community are people that want to be nurtured, and I call it mindset transformation entertainment, so that they feel like they're coming in and feeling kind of okay, and they're leaving feeling like, oh my gosh, I just went and saw the best movie or the best rock show, because that's where my brain is I want some transformation. I want it to be entertaining. So it's more like a symposium style. Each expert that comes in, what they get to do is I get to interact with them as they're kind of doing their talk, but it's different because they get a whole hour of just discussing, how they work with clients, what are the tools they use. In the community, we're in a Facebook group, and they type and they interact consistently. So I get to share with the expert that is sharing with them different tools, and they get to connect with the community that's watching. So it's all live and wonderful, and it gets recorded. And that recording of the whole day show, each hour gets chunked out into a podcast. So we get to celebrate the experience of the people that got to watch the show. Now they get to listen to it in podcasts or watch it on YouTube. But now it's not 4 to 6 hours of a show. Now it's chunked into 1 hour. So you can find your expert in the things you want to work on. Then after that, it goes into Roku TV. And I have a professional editor. And so it's about a 30-minute show. And so they get the real big highlights so you can watch it and feel that motivation that you're looking for. This is how I know to be a founder of a show like this, to get it out in the most massive way. And it challenges me also because I've done media, and released books and things like that. And I want to challenge myself because I like living in alignment the highest that I can, and then do what is my passion. This is one of one of my passions is helping people in the health industry, but also wanting the audience to be nurtured. So nurturing an audience along the ride too.
Which is fantastic. Yeah, no, it's a partnership that works for everybody.
Yeah, so that's how you're going to be able to find me, thefreshinspirationshow.com. If you're a speaker or you want free tickets right now, we've been doing free all through the coronavirus time. And if you love some of the health stuff I talked about, I just love this area. If you want to know more, there's tons of free stuff. I want you to go directly to my website. So rhondaliebig.com. Remember, it's German, so it looks like Liebig, L-I-E-B as in boy, I-G. You can have an energy assessment. You're going to click in. You get to be part of my community, which is the newsletter. Fill that stuff out. It's only 14 questions, but you're going to learn about the workouts that you are looking for that's going to help your metabolism increase. And they're also going to get like a top 10 list of foods to nurture either your liver or your kidneys, because you're going to find out what you're off. And that's how you get, and there's events, and you're going to find out the podcasts, all that kind of stuff on my website.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure that there are people out there with especially thyroid issues that will be interested in learning more, because to get off thyroid medication is huge. But you are about so much more than that being your starting point. The whole mindset thing is so critical to well-being. So thank you for sharing all of this today. And I will put in the show notes also all the things about where to find Rhonda, where to find the Fresh Inspiration Show, so that you can all join in with her community and grow along with the other people that she has there.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it.
Thank you.